Bang! Neves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife, Kara, is busy. And this is the Kansept Main Street. The bigger version, or the full-size version, to the little Main Street. Kansept has all kinds of knives, and they have a really amazing new catalog for 2021. They have a lot of amazing knives coming out this year, so definitely go check their new catalog out. And they also have a bunch of amazing knives that, you know, are already out from last year, so they have a lot of amazing knives. They're definitely coming out swinging. They're a relatively new company, but lots of great knives. So this knife is designed by Dirk Pinkerton, who's been around for a while. Lots of amazing knives. We've definitely had a bunch of them. The blade length on this is 3.3 inches, 7.9 inches overall. And then here's the little guy. So this is the little Main Street. So we have the Main Street and the little Main Street. And also, I have the Kaiser Fire Ant, which is a Dirk Pinkerton design, which is right in the middle of these two guys. So you basically got a small, medium, and large. I used to have the Rogue, but I do not have that anymore. I did trade that one. But I did love it, though. It was my work knife for a long time. And this is a great work knife, too, man. I mean, to me, that's where I see this knife, is just out in the field working. Definitely a great work knife if you work in a factory or around a farm or pretty much doing anything, construction, whatever. It's going to be a great work knife. 154 cm, great steel, micarta handles, steel liners, and a titanium clip. Now, the action is on thumb studs. Let's check out the action, because the action is, that was my fault, really, really good. The placement of the thumb studs is in a nice place. It's separated from the scales at a good distance for your thumb. It has very good grip to it. So it's almost natural right where your thumb lands on this. So it just feels very satisfying to open it. Even in the reverse flick, I almost like it better. My middle finger just lands right there so perfectly without even thinking about it. And the tension, or the detent, is relatively light, but perfect for thumb stud action. I wouldn't want it really any stronger. The access to the lock bar is amazing. Perfect access. You can let it drop and hit your nail and then slap it shut. If you do let it hit the detent, it's right there, which you can easily push past it. It is really drop shutty too. I mean, very, very smooth, which I kind of expected after feeling the little one, because the little one is like that as well. I mean, it is very, that was my fault. It is very drop shutty as well, normally. I kind of expected it after the little Main Street, because the little Main Street is so smooth as well. So, but yeah, this one's very similar in smoothness, even smoother, to be honest, because of the weight of the blade. I mean, it is super smooth, even with the coating on it, because a lot of times with coating, the detent ball has to basically cut a track in to the coating. But this one right out of the box was very smooth. It did have a little bit of that sound, you know, from the detent ball trying to break into the coating, but yeah, awesome. But so the action is really, really good. Very fidgety for thumb studs, and very easy to deploy, and even slow rolling it is very satisfying. The lockup is nice and solid. I've checked it many, many times. I mean, it is very, very solid. No play side to side whatsoever. Very, very nice. Now, the cutting ability. Now, it has 125 thousandths thick blade stock. Behind the edge thickness is right around 15 thousandths, which is really good. The geometry on this is amazing. It's perfect for a work knife. It's not too thin to where it's going to be your ultimate slicer or something like that, but it's right in that happy medium range, in my opinion, where you're going to get strength and, you know, good slicing, because for a Wharncliffe that has a straight edge, it slices really good, really good. And you know, that also helps because the blade stock thickness is only 125 thousandths, which is, you know, it's not really thick, it's not extremely thin, it's like right there in that happy medium range. So slicing is great. It slices perfect, especially for a Wharncliffe, because a Wharncliffe, you know, they're more utility task, you know, oriented, but this works perfect for slicing. Now for utility cuts, this thing is a beast. It just blazes through anything for utility cuts. You have so much leverage into your cuts, and the tip is nice and acute. Nice, sharp, very acute tip that, you know, with the leverage you have behind the handle and the blade shape, it just, you know, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's going to be great for utility cuts. It's going to be great for long straight lines or opening stuff up, or, you know, tracing things, you know, any type of utility cuts or cutting, you know, stuff open, opening things up. It's going to be great for that. Now, the Ergos are so good. Very neutral. You see, it has kind of a straight back. It does have a little bit of a slope, which is a perfect radius for the palm. It has a great thickness in both ways. So perfect thickness here, and here kind of tapers from bigger to smaller here, which is exactly what your hand does. So feels very comfortable. My Micarta has a nice warm, you know, soft feeling to it. So you have so much pressure into your cuts, and you feel like you have so much control over this knife. Like you can go from, you know, a utility cut to slicing to pulling straps, you know, putting it in your pocket, getting it out, slicing, you know, putting it back in your pocket. It's such a controllable knife, and I really like that. Now, the blade, I haven't sharpened it yet. This is the factory edge. Now, the edge, you get the total length of the edge, and your hand gets nice and close to it, which I like, because when I'm going to be doing push cuts and stuff, I have the maximum amount of pressure into my cuts. I'm right up close to it, so the material can basically rest against my hand and go like that. Now, you do have the thumb studs that are in front of the cutting path, so you will have to kind of angle it like this so the material goes this way, which is not a problem because of the handles the way they are. You can easily do that. So yeah, very comfortable and very controllable. The Ergos are great. The action's great. Geometry's good. It's a great knife. Now, the hardware, T8s, I love it. Thank you, Kansept. Great job. No T6s, all T8s. We ain't playing. The only T6s are the clip, but it's not reversible anyways. So, sorry, lefties, but it, you know, so you're not going to have to take it off really, you know. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, if you're going to take it apart to clean it out, then yeah, you're going to have to. But so I'd rather see T8s in there just because of that reason, because, you know, they do, let me show you, they do go into the liner. I don't know if you can see it, but they do go into the liner. So in order to take the liner out, which I forgot to show, this does have liners on the inside. So they just don't, they're just, you know, I'm trying to think of the wording, but the micarta is over the top of the liners. So they are inset. There you go. They are inset inside there. And the clip does screw into that liner. So, you know, not that big of a deal. Now, we'll get to the clip in 1 second. I want to show the stop pin. The stop pin is a nice, great size stop pin. I love to see that. And another thing I like to see, check this out. The stop pin is in the steel liner, which is really cool. So the steel liner comes up and kind of goes around right here. That's awesome. That is really good because it's going to add to the strength, you know, especially using micarta. So awesome, awesome. And that is also held in by T8. Awesome. So now the clip. This is a fantastic. I can't express it enough. This is an amazing titanium clip. Because it's a milled titanium clip, a lot of titanium milled clips that are like this, you know, they're hit or miss. Some are great, some are bad, some are just good. This one's great. Not only does it just goes in and out of the pocket, no problem. It doesn't hang on to the, you know, your pocket seam. It doesn't grab it. You know, it's easy to get in and out. Literally, it's so easy to put in and out of the pocket, open it up, get it into action, close it back up, and put it back in the pocket. And it's very comfortable. If you know what I mean about the clip being comfortable going in and out of the pocket, it's nice. It's a nice soft feeling, yet you have a good amount of tension holding the knife in your pocket. I love it. There's a little bit hanging out of the pocket, but that's just enough for you to grab it and get it out of your pocket and get it into action. So no complaints there. And the knife sitting in the pocket, you know, it's a full-size knife. So you're getting a full-size package in your that was going to sound bad. You're getting a full-size knife in your pocket, so, you know, it's really not hard to carry. It's relatively light. It's not, you know, it's not bad at all. It's perfect in the pocket. To me, this is just fine. This is very easy to carry, in my opinion. Now, if you like smaller knives, you know, then you might think different, but to me, this is perfect. The micarta. The micarta is pretty good. They do have other kinds, so these do come in other colors. So this, you know, you can basically look at what they have, and you can see that they have different kinds. So, you know, different flavors. This one has the green micarta with the black. It's a stone-washed coating, so it's not like it's just the coating, which makes it a little bit more durable. I haven't really seen too much. It's kind of got the wear already on it. If you look, like the corners already have wear on it, you know, which that's the way it comes. So I like that because it's gonna hold up longer. You know, the when I use it, it's not showing wear. It's basically just looks the same. And so far it's held up, and I have been using it. So no complaints about the coating yet. Now, I can't speak about if, you know, something happens and it winds up starting to get scratched, you know, then that'll be something, but all coating eventually does that. The micarta is decent. It's not really bad quality. It's not the best, but it's for the price, man, this is good. I mean, you can do things to micarta too. Like you can oil them. You can, you know, use sandpaper and rough them up. There's different things, you know, you can do to your micarta to make them a little bit better for you. So, but this isn't bad. I don't mind this. Nice texture. Like I said, nice warm feeling. The clip in the hand is comfortable. I have no complaints on how the clip feels in my hand. I actually barely even feel it. And I really like this little spot right here that they put for your finger. It's nice and comfortable right there. This little spot right there, if you were going to hold back here, then yeah, it can be uncomfortable just right there, but you don't hold it there. That kind of falls in between your two fingers, so no complaints about the Ergos. Now, after all that, you know, let's look at the choil really quick, because the choil is done pretty good. They did leave a little portion for you to sharpen, which I do like. I wish it was a little bit more, but it's really not that bad because you can see how thin it is. So from the plunge to the edge, you have that much sharpening you can get out of it. Now, after that, you're going to have to sharpen up the blade, which they did drop the plunge grind straight down. So I'm happy with that. It has a slight bit of taper, tiny bit of taper, but it's not bad. It's really not that bad. Now, if you want to lay your edge back and change the angle, then it's going to chew up that little bit of steel a little bit faster, but you can get away with a couple sharpenings. If you keep it at this angle, you can get away with about three sharpenings. If you kept it at this angle. If you lay it back, then you're only going to get one, maybe two. But all you're going to have to do is after, you sharpen that off, this little portion right here that's hanging off, then you're just going to have to sharpen up the blade. So what are some bad things? Let's talk about some bad things. So one, it's slightly off-centered. I did try to fix that, and this is just where it lands. And I did try the trick where you push it over with a piece of paper. I tried a couple things, and it's pretty close, to be honest. It's not rubbing whatsoever. It's not even close to rubbing. It's really not that bad, and I hate to nitpick about such a tiny bit, but I gotta find something on this thing that's bad, and I don't have a lot of options. And it's not that I have to find something, but I like to call it out. And in this case, this is pretty awesome, so I have to nitpick a little bit, and that's my nitpick. The centering's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit off, but it's not bad at all. Next thing, like I said, D6 is on the clip. Not a big deal. The choil, I do wish it was. I wish they gave us a little bit more sharpening before it started going, before the steel is gone that they gave us to sharpen. Now, like I said, you can still sharpen. It's not like you can't just keep sharpening it, but I like to see, them give you quite a bit of steel, just in case if you do want to lay the edge back. Next thing, the micarta, it's decent. It's not horrible. It's not bad. It's decent quality. But there are some companies doing really good micarta for this type of price. So I'd like to see the micarta get a little bit better in the future. But in all reality, it's just fine. It's good micarta. It's not bad. So I just, I like micarta. So I like to see really, really good micarta, but this is still decent. Now there is one more bad thing, and it's right there. Little Main Street. I'm obviously joking here. They accidentally put Little Main Street on here instead of just regular Main Street, but it's not that big of a deal. They sent me this knife along with some other knives to check out, and it was obviously a mistake. This one says little instead of regular. Not a big deal at all. I'm just joking around. I don't care, but it does say little instead of, just regular Main Street. And really, man, I'm just coming up with things to nitpick. This thing's pretty good. The jimping on this thing isn't really useful. It's just kind of there for show. And you get a little bit of resistance from it, but it looks kind of cool. And the top of the knife it's not crowned, but it's like chamfered all the way around. So it feels crowned to the hand or to your thumb. It really feels like a crowned spine because of the chamfering all the way around. And you can see the logos there, Dirk Pinkerton. I like that they're very subtle with their logos and, the information on the knife. I hate it when I see just, all kinds of logos everywhere. This is, relatively subtle. I like that they have the two standoffs. It helps with the strength, plus the nice big stop pin. It feels like a tough knife, that... Obviously, it's not something you're gonna, hammer, but it's good, man. It's great. It's a good knife. That's what it is. It's a good knife. And it is a flat grind. I forgot to say that. It is a flat grind. But it's so controllable, and there's so many, ways to really manipulate this knife and use it in a work scenario that I like it. I think they did a good job. And before we go, let's just check out a couple other knives. Here is the Kansept KRYO. which I do have the review coming up on this one. Now you see the KRYO is a little bit longer, but same range of knife, so figure I'd show it. Then here is the Kansept Prickle, which comes in a couple different blade shapes. So they do have a Tonto version, which these are also very close in length. The Prickle being, they're about the same length, just about, pretty close. But this is a front flipper knife, so it is completely different, but another review coming up very soon. Another knife that a lot of people know, just to give you an idea of the length, we have the Spyderco PM2, which is, a bit longer, but not too much. So, good size reference. So I figured I'd just show you guys a couple size comparisons before we get out of here. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.